2023 question 2 had Dijkstra's algorithm to begin. Now Dijkstra's algorithm is that you take the least weight, so you need to go in this direction maybe first, and if you do that you end up kind of going down, not a rabbit hole, but it takes quite a while to get over to this point, maybe L and K. So if you have just a quick browse of the actual order in which things want to be done, the book has it done this way, and I've done it that way, but it took me maybe 25 minutes, which I think is too long for this question. The marking scheme just has it listed like this, all the options. So I'll do a version of kind of something along those lines. So if we look up X, we have 3 options. So we can start with X. We have 3 options. We can go to A, 3400. We can go to B, 2500. And we go to C, which will be the route we'd go, 1250. So C will be node 2. And they want them beside them in the book, but you're not going to have enough space here to do all this. C being node 2 with a weight of 1250. So we'll do a kind of a list version of these boxes. To get to B, obviously it's quicker to go this way and this way. That would be 2150, so we can eliminate XB straight away. So we're going to go XCB if we're going down in that direction. But I've done a quick scan and this is the direction we want to be going in. So let's go in that direction first and then we'll come back to the other one. So XA, and then to get to D, it's quicker to go XA, AE, ED. You can see it's quicker. So to get to D going in that direction, we're going to go X being node 1, A being node 2, E being node 3, and D being node 4. And the total weight there will be 3400 to this point. Another 800 will be 4200. And adding 1750 to that will be 5950. So we're at D at this point, and you can see going in any other direction to get to D is going to be more expensive, particularly if we go along the bottom and back up. So we're at D now. We want to get to Y. So it is quicker to go around the top. You can see here these numbers are much lower than the numbers internally, but let's maybe go to G first, K, and then J. So if we're at D and we want to go G, K, J, is that cheaper than 3000? So G as node 5, we'll be adding 650, will be 6600. K would then be node 6. Another 2500 will be 9100. And that would have J then as node 7. Another 1900 will be 11,000 at this point. So is that quicker than going D to J, J being node 5? We're only adding 3000 on. 8950 is definitely quicker or cheaper going in that direction. And from here, M will be node 6, adding 950 on will be 9900. And then this will be node 6, and then node 7 will be Y. Node 7 adding 1550 on will be 11,450. And if you wanted, if you had time at the end of the exam, maybe come back and have a look down in this direction. It does get quite expensive quite quickly down in that direction. So that's the cost. So the route will be X, A, E, D, J, M, Y. Part B of this question are two spheres, P and Q. They've equal radii and have mass m and 2m. So we'll set up our table. We have m and 2m for P and Q. So we're going to have before and after in all these questions. So on the left, before, on the right, after. And we know that in these questions, the j velocity, no change. So what do we got here? We have alpha inside, and we have traveling at a speed of 4. So 4 cos alpha in the eye. plus 4 sine alpha in the j. And then after, we are going to have, let's call this velocity 1 in the I, plus 4 sine alpha in the j. We have velocity 2 in the I, and initially this is only going in the j direction, so initial velocity 0 in the I, plus 3.2 in the j. And we actually have sine A here, 4 over 5. A sine is 4 over 5 means cos is 3 over 5. Oh, just double check. So 4 by 3 over 5 is 12 over 5, which is 2.4, and for sine A, 4 by 4 over 5 is 16 over 5, which is 3.2. It's actually the same as this one. So I'll write it out again. P 2.4 in the I plus 3.2 in the j, mass of m, and it will be V1 in the I plus 3.2 in the j afterwards, and Q is 0 in the I plus 3.2 in the j, has a mass of 2m, and will be V2 in the I plus 3.2 in the j afterwards. Okay, we've got Newton's experimental law and the principle of conservation of momentum to apply here, so we'll do the PCM. So we have m1u1, so 2.4m, so this one by this one, plus this one by this one, so you've got u1m1 or m1u1, so that's plus 0 times 2m. That's going to be equal to v1 times m, we're going backwards, and v2 times 2m. We can divide by m always, so we're going to get 2.4 is equal to v1 plus 2v2. So our simultaneous equations, we got our first one. So for Newton's experimental law, I should probably write out the first formula. v1 minus v2 is equal to minus e by u1 minus u2. So we're going to have v1 minus v2 is equal to, if we got e, we're just told e is always between 0 and 1, and we're asked to find in terms of e. Might be good to read the question first. The velocity of each sphere immediately after they collide, so minus e, and u1 was 2.4, and that minus u2 was 0. So we get v1 minus v2 is equal to minus 2.4e. I've got v1 here, so I may as well multiply that one by minus 1 and bring it up. So we're going to get minus v1 minus 2v2 is equal to minus 2.4. So we're going to get minus 3v2. They're all minuses actually, so we can make them pluses. So 3v2 will be equal to 2.4e plus 2.4. 3v2 is equal to 2.4 times e plus 1. And if we divide 2.4 by 3, we get 0.8. v2 is equal to 0.8 times e plus 1. I think that's right for v2. Okay, v1. I might just cancel the v2s then and multiply this one by 2. I'll get 2v1 minus 2v2 is equal to minus 4.8e. Combining these two lines, I'll get 3v1 equals 2.4 minus 4.8e. Looks like I can factor out 2.4 again. 1 minus 2e equals 3v1, so I'll just leave it as v1 and divide by 3. We get 0.8 on the outside again. 1 minus 2e will be equal to v1. And we asked calculate the velocity of each sphere, so this is in the I direction, so v1 is equal to 0.8 times 1 minus 2e in the I direction, plus they were both 3.2 in the j, and v2 will be 0.8 times e plus 1 in the I direction, plus 3.2 in the j.